Good morning everyone, James Anderson reporting for the North Coast Courier. I'm here in Umdloti this morning surveying the damage and devastation that has been left by 4 or 5 days of consistent rain and the floods that they've produced. Obviously, as everyone would have seen by now, Umdloti is one of the worst hit areas. I am here at the moment in Isikulu, which is the complex that was first hit. It's essentially directly below 56 Bellamont Road, which is one of the first houses on Bellamont Road which got flooded, and then their garden left and it became essentially a canyon. I will endeavor to show you that a little bit later. But just for now, I am at the ground level, or what has become the ground level, full of mud, at the back side of Isikulu. So this is where all the sand and the mud and the water rushed in and took away these people's homes, their livelihoods, all their possessions. If you just bear with me a few moments, I will take you around and you can really see what the devastation has been firsthand. I try to get into the apartments, but it's just not possible at the moment. It's just too high and the mud is too full, so we won't be able to get there. But I will show you from the front at another time, or at least I will take some photographs and show you. So I'm going to turn the camera around now. So this is the opposite view of where I was standing. I will show you the canyon further up that hill right now. But for now, while we're down here, I just want to show you quite what the level of mud has been. So as I understand it, we are on the second level, as it were. So this is between 6 and 8 meters of mud below us. You can see entire tree trunks have come down. This level has not been washed away, but also of course the homes have been greatly impacted by flood water and mud that's rushed through. But one level below this level that we are standing on is where the real damage was done in Isikulu. As you will see from the front, and as I'm sure you've seen from videos and photos that have been circulated, that's where the real damage, balconies have fallen off, the entire homes have been cleared out, just with mud and rain, as it were. So bear with me, we're just going to get up and I'll show you the canyon. I can't really walk around too far on the left side. It does become quite spongy, soft mud, and I don't want to lose my shoes, as it were. But yeah, as we get up here, you can see even on the right side, this is just huge amounts of foliage and detritus that have been washed down. And in amongst all of it, there are pieces of brick, pieces of furniture, pieces of clothing, really everything showing that these are homes that have been taken, really bringing to the fore the devastation that has been wrought by these floods over the last 3 or 4 days. So now that we're up, you can see this is the back side of Isikulu. As you will see through there are some cars that have been trapped in mud. I assume they came in when it was looking like it was going to come and calm down a bit yesterday, and then they couldn't get out. But as you see here, just anything you can imagine that has tumbled down the hill. Bricks, clothing, furniture, and obviously huge trees that have been ripped from their roots and have tumbled down and now are implanted in 6 and 8 meters of mud at Isikulu at the bottom here, on essentially the last row of houses before North Beach Road on the north side of Umdloti. But behind me you will see what has become maybe the most infamous site in these floods in Umdloti. This is the canyon down from 56 Bellamont Road, where most of the mud originally flowed. This was the epicenter of the flooding, as it were. Obviously now it has spread in Surfside, which is a complex further south, and also coming down towards Cozumel on North Beach Road. Those have also been heavily impacted. Apartments were ripped from the tower on Surfside, and those tumbled down past Cozumel and blocked North Beach Road. But also we understand there are more issues south of the main part of Umdloti, also on South Beach Road, that we haven't yet shown you. So I will be going there a bit later and showing you as well. But for now, this is the site, as it were, from Isikulu, once one of the most sought after properties in Umdloti. I'll sign off there for now, and I will show you again from the front side what Isikulu really looks like. So you join me now at the front side of Isikulu, the sea facing side essentially, and you can see firsthand the devastation on this first lowest row of apartments. At least 6 have been, if not completely washed away, just washed through with nothing, or almost nothing left inside essentially. Those are the ones where you can see where the balcony has completely been derailed as well. As it was explained to me on Monday night when I came here, one apartment at a time was filling with mud, and then when that got blocked, essentially it went on to the next apartment, just knocking out 5, 6 in a row. I imagine many of these other low-lying apartments have been heavily impacted as well. Although they haven't lost their balconies, I would imagine the inside, the interior is completely wrought as well. If you can see at street level, we are about 2 meters up here full of mud. There is debris of any kind you can imagine. There are some balconies, obviously furniture items, I believe that to be a washing machine or an air conditioner, I can't really see. And here you can see what the beach looks like. Obviously piles and piles of organic and you know, other waste, as it were, that have been washed down through these apartments. So this is again Isikulu, one of the worst hit places in Umdloti. Next up, I'm going to show you what the canyon from below Surfside looks like. Again, one of the bigger canyons that have fallen down this main hill, coming down from Bellamont Road and from the highest roads in Umdloti. You will rejoin me there. So this is the view from just north of Cozumel on North Beach Road, where if you can see up canyon, essentially that is Surfside complex, where 2 apartments basically dislodged from the main tower and tumbled down over Monday night. When speaking to residents on Tuesday morning rather, they described it as apocalyptic, the sounds that it was making as it was sort of rendered and torn from its supports. It's been some dreadful scenes in Umdloti over the last 4 or 5 days. This is perhaps the biggest blockage that I've seen anywhere on the north coast. We're probably 6 or 7 meters above the road, and this is obviously just massive amounts of mud that have tumbled down the road. There is an excavator on site, but I imagine cleanup operations are going to take more in 4 or 5 days, not taking into account the rain that is still likely to come this weekend. But that is one thing we have seen everywhere we visited, is obviously the feeling and the willingness of residents in all communities, just obviously trying to help each other, you know, as water and electricity has been sparing in some places, and just the willingness to clean up as well. So yeah, is again one of the worst hit places in Umdloti. And you can see up there, just past the excavator, the remains of the left 2 apartments of Surfside complex. In front of me is another of the most shared images of Umdloti. It's the major canyon that is formed at Umdloti's main circle. As you can see, that's the main petrol station as you come in on the right, along with the chain of restaurants, with the water treatment works in the middle. This was absolutely decimated after huge amounts of mud and water trailed down Umdloti's main entrance road and just careened and took this out. As you can see, it's a huge gulf. There looks to be either raw sewage or just an exit pipe flowing there. This is going to take weeks, months to fill. Who really knows? This must be 10-15 meters deep. It's one of the worst sites of damage that we've seen anywhere. Before I close off, I think I'm going to take you up to Bellamont Road, but this is Umdloti Centre, and this is what it looks like currently. Cleanup crews are on site, and there's an excavator excavating the road, and I imagine clearing this as soon as they can. Finally, this is 56 Bellamont Road, which was the initial site of major flooding at the high side of Umdloti. Here you can see the absolute devastation. Piles and piles of mud. In fairness, cleanup operations have already begun in kind. They look to be repairing the road. There are workers on site behind me, but if you look down here, this is the sand canyon that has emerged. This took out 57 Bellamont Road, a cottage that got washed down into Isikulu below, where we saw earlier. This is 56 and 58 Bellamont Road, with a clearly missing plot in between. This is a huge canyon, and the foundations of which on 56 Bellamont Road still look very up in the air, as it were. I'm just going to show you quickly over the fence. I was walking through this home on Monday night. I will include some photos as well. Basically, this is just absolutely devastated, as a lot of the north side of Umdloti has been. This is amongst the worst hit, however. Umdloti has been amongst the worst hit on the north coast. As I've shown you this morning, cleanup operations and assistance has begun in kind, but there's clearly weeks and months worth of work to do before it gets returned to its former splendor. Here on Bellamont Road, there's a huge canyon, as there is below Surfside going down past Cozumel. This is currently what we're seeing. We will bring you more on cleanup operations and the devastation from across the north coast. Be sure to follow the North Coast Courier for more.